don't know about your house, but in mine, we get mysterious wall stains. And of course, no one is to blame for them. I don't know how, and even less answers to why. But I do know this, if it's white paint especially, I often just use a baby wipe. Seems to cut any fingerprint, grease, you know, oil from hands, whatever. But if it's on colored paint, I'm a little cautious when using Clorox wipes. However, we had this terrible incident. I hate to even describe it. If you're eating, put your food down. Sorry, maybe pause this, watch it later. My son had a nosebleed the other day that he did not tell me about and apparently sneezed on the wall. I had told him to clean up his bathroom in case his grandmother stopped by and used the bathroom that day. She was picking him up and I thought there was a chance she might come in. And I said, please clean your bathroom before she gets here. Well, he did a few things. He neglected to tell me about this. So when I went in later to see how much he'd actually cleaned, I discovered this. And all I can say is I'm glad he told me the nosebleed story, because it did not look red and it was near the toilet and I thought something else had happened. It was disgusting. I cannot say how disgusting it was, but he apparently thought he cleaned it. He did not clean it well. Okay, so except for the chips in the paint, little dings, which aren't surprising after years and years of use in this pantry, it actually came off pretty well with just a baby wipe. And I'm pretty happy with that. There are just a few spots that maybe need a magic eraser. But a lot of this was dirt. It wasn't actually a scuff. Like if it's a scuff with a shoe, something like that, I get a black mark on the wall. That comes off pretty well. We've had crayon marks. I don't even want to talk about that. The incident, the one time when, well, if you've ever heard of Harold and the Purple Crayon, I think my older daughter really didn't want to have to babysit her younger brother. And maybe, I don't know if she gave him the crayon or she just chose to look the other way. Anyway, I was devastated. We had a house that was built when my son was an infant. He was maybe 2 or 3 at this time, toddling along, and somehow he and a purple crayon made a whole mess of my hallway. You can still see the smudge marks in the right light where I had to scrub them off. It has not been repainted. I've tried to clean and I just look the other way because our hallway is not the most brightly lit spot. So unless the sun is hitting, I pretend it doesn't exist. So that's all I can say. Has not been repainted since. But yeah, for the most part, baby wipes do the trick. And if it's something like an terribly unexpected nosebleed, then of course I grab a Clorox wipe, even though there's blue paint, light blue paint in his bathroom, which is also the guest bathroom. We don't have guests often, but when we do, I'd prefer they not see what looks like a horrible diarrhea incident on the wall. I'm not sure it would have been any better if it, you know, they thought it was blood, but it was horrible. It was horrifying. And yes, I cleaned it myself. And yes, I cleaned it with Clorox wipes because I did not want to have to do anything more than barely scrub at it and toss that in the trash and like get out of there as soon as I could. It took a little scrubbing because it had been on there for several days and he forgot. And as I said, he thought he did a good job cleaning it off. He missed several spots. But yeah, you know, I dust this regularly. This is our laundry room, pantry, coat closet area, everything. So these do get dusty. I do wipe those down. Mostly dusting, but they also occasionally need wiped. And it's even worse where we have bifolds in our bathroom because they have over the years collected hairspray. It is a more damp environment, so they get some, you know, moisture, and then the whole thing just kind of blends in together and sticks. But the pantry being white, some of this does show up a little more. So occasionally I just come through and clean this up. But I had noticed those little streaks on the wall. They were getting outstandingly obvious. So it was definitely time to get that taken care of. And yeah, the streaks are gone. So I'm happy. And that's just regular little touch-ups that I do. You know, over time I will notice something and I'll grab a wipe and do that. So it's not something that's a pressing thing. It's not something I do in a regular cleaning routine. It's just when I see those little marks or whatever, I will look and decide to give them a wipe. Oh, that's a scuff. Okay. So, and a scuff in the paint, not something I can really wipe down, but I do check doorknobs regularly, things like that. That does look like it has a halo on film, but I'm not sure in the actual light that it really does. I think that's more lighting than anything. So, you know, but I do scrub around doorknobs. Maybe that is a little bit of a dirt thing around there, but there's also a little wear from the paint and so forth. So anyway, yeah, anytime anyone's sick, something like that, you know, I'll touch up all the doorknobs and things. Light switches, the wall around the light switches always get kind of funky. So that's always an area to check. But these weird wall things, I don't know. I swear we have ghosts that, you know, maybe they sneeze on my walls too. I have no idea, but we don't have toddlers. You know, my son's 15 and I don't know. It's a long way up this wall. So what happens down here in a laundry room, we don't have a sink out here. You know, we don't have a basin or like a soaking tub or anything like that out here. No particular reason. We don't even keep beverages other than we do have a container of bottled water out here, a case of bottled water. So how these get in here, I have no idea. But, you know, just like that, little smudges, they happen. They happen. And who knows, maybe it was a sticky little hand or, you know, a sippy cup that hit the wall. And since I don't scrub my walls, as some people do when they spring clean, you know, or even the walls we have wiped down on occasion, who knows, maybe it was there for quite a while and, you know, it just appeared because of dust settling into that stickiness over time. Who knows? It's a mystery. But what I do know is, you know, when I have a moment or a little downtime, and I've seen it 15 times now and I've ignored it, it's time to get back to it. It's time to wipe it off. It's time to figure out why there's a pink streak on my wall. You know, and I don't even care why. It's just, it's a touch up and go. And so that's what I'm doing today is just little, wow, up there even. Who knows, mystery spots? Maybe my husband did have a coffee in his hand when he came out here to grab something to go. I have no clue. And most of the time, it's kind of like the nosebleed. I'm really not sure I want to know the true answer. Sometimes it's a little better than what you think it is. But sometimes you're just as well off not knowing and just cleaning it. But in this case, I'm using a baby wipe instead of a Clorox wipe or, you know, Lysol wipe. So, and, you know, for the most part, I don't really think it's going to matter on a wall anyway, in your own home with your own family, for the most part. Just do what you can. You know, there's germs everywhere. And yeah, we want to kill as many as possible, but sometimes it just not seeing it any longer is good enough.